you a buck, give your dollar a squeezy. The girl's got the answer, you better believe me. Take it from Tara. Take it from Tara. Take it from Tara. Take it from Tara.
And good evening, and this is Take It From Tara with the best lineup of guests I've had all week. Well, it's Monday, so it's the beginning of the week, but I have some great guests and a wonderful musical guest. Tim Kelty is with us, along with his singing partner, Lori Jessup. So glad to have them in the house. This show is brought to you by Tammy and Tabby Lewis Conti for An Act of Dog. And what a great program An Act of Dog is. It's going to turn into a permanent museum right here in Louisville, we hope, although a lot of people are advocating for them to come to their cities. So we're going to keep promoting them until we can convince them to stay. Educational Justice's Sarah Schaefer speaks on ACT prep, which is a really important subject for families with college-bound kids. Anybody who has those knows. Tanya Ablin is in the house with the social side of Louisville, the latest on the Julep Ball, along with Peter Holloway from Stage One Family Theater. So glad he could be with us tonight. And Emily Pfeiffer from the Bristol has some guests in. Bristol is one of the sponsors of this great Scooter Ray designed Derby Fashion Show 2013, and we are going to talk to Scooter himself, along with one of the great sponsors, Kim Dodson from Citizens Union Bank. So glad that they're all with us tonight. If you haven't yet become a member of this not-for-profit radio station, Crescent Hill Radio, let's talk about the benefits. And the first is this, the Crescent Hill Radio Derby Kickoff. Show it to them, Kathy. The Derby Kickoff is a fantastic concert that's going to be held April the 28th, and that is the Sunday before Derby, 4 to 10 p.m. It's going to be held at Expo 5, which is, of course, we all know is one of the greatest venues for performance and everything else going on in Louisville. And it's 4 to 10 p.m. It's a $25 membership fee to join Crescent Hill Radio for the year, and you get free admission to the concert. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay $10 at the door. So you might as well get all the other benefits of Crescent Hill Radio membership and get into the concert free. To become a member, just go to our website if you're not already there, crescenthillradio.com, and you can click on becoming a member or to get advanced ticket sales. Bands like Appalatin, Korean Hetty, who composed that wonderful jingle, Discount Guns, Robbie Bartlett, Trappers, Keepers, Memphis Beck and Friends, Bridge 19, Anton Mink, and Atlanta Fugate. Just some of the fantastic fun that will be at Expo 5 on that night. A cash bar with food, 2 full stages, lots of parking, and a great space. Plus, it's going to raise money for this wonderful 501c3 nonprofit public radio station, Crescent Hill Radio. Tim, you are the best accompaniment for my promos that I have ever had.
Oh, come on, rock it, baby.
Come on, baby, I love it. That's fantastic. Tim Kelty, Lori Jessup, our musical guests for this week. How'd you two get together as a musical partnership? I'm dying to know.
How did it happen? Yeah. You know, it was so funny. My memory is I met Lori with some friends at Stevie Ray's Blues Bar downtown. Mm-hmm. And I think the first time we ever spent any time together, I'm also a massage therapist. And
how convenient.
And I did a session with Lori, and I think afterwards we were chit-chatting, and it came out that she was a singer. And I was like, oh, I play guitar. Let's
do something together.
Yeah, it was great. I was looking for a guitar player because my guitar skills are a little sketchy, so it worked out great, and that was a couple years ago now. So
I love that.
Yeah, he's a great guitar player to play with, as you could just tell.
Well,
that
obviously,
he can fill in.
I know 5 jazz chords, and I just play them.
Okay, well that's very good. I like that. And you also have a band of your own.
Yep, we are in a band called Jessup and the Get Downs.
I love that. And where would we hear you guys play? Can we find a spot? Do you have a home base, or do you just do gigs all over town?
Well, you know, over the last couple of years, we've played a lot of the places like the Bardstown,
yes.
Re-Rob, you know, a lot of the pubs in town. And in the last year or so, we've really enjoyed doing more like just private engagements, house parties. We love to get together in an environment with people kind of like this, where people are really into hearing some music, maybe even singing along.
Yes.
And because we're doing mostly cover material, we don't really do a lot of original stuff. So it's just great to create an evening of music.
Yes.
And
we encourage singing along.
So. And we encourage you to hire them to do your derby parties, because obviously this is the season. So get in touch with Tim Kelty on Facebook. Lori, you're on Facebook too, I'm sure.
Yep, and we have a Facebook page too, Jessup and the Get Downs.
Excellent. So that's how they can be hired for a reasonable fee to play at your derby gig or any other party that you want to have. Okay, we're going to hear more from you guys throughout the hour. First, we want to introduce Kim Dodson from Citizens Union Bank and Scooter Ray, who is the design god.
No.
Shall we just call you that for right now?
If you want
And
to.
Emily Pfeiffer brought them along. She came from the Bristol tonight. She's one of the sponsors of this fabulous fashion show. And I see her outside the window right now. Would you like to bring some of that in here? Because I'm thinking there's something in it for me. And I'm thinking it may be possibly some green chili wontons? Holy smoke, Emily, you're the best friend a girl could have. Look at that. And what else did you bring? White
And
chili?
we have white chili.
Oh.
Two of the Bristol classics.
So here's the question. Do you think I can eat a green chili wonton and interview you?
Yes, you can do it. It's okay.
I haven't had dinner yet, so that is awesome.
perfect.
Lean in here for just a second. This is Emily Pfeiffer,
Hello.
and she is the go-to girl at the Bristol for everything.
Thank you.
And we love you for sponsoring this fashion show and
she's
introducing them to
awesome.
us.
Well, we're thrilled with Bristol Catering to be part of it. And
Thank you.
So enjoy the show.
Oh, leave the
Enjoy.
white chili for Kathy. She's a chili fan. Kathy Weisbach, station manager of Crescent Hill Radio. Thank you for the green chili wontons, and I'll share. You guys want to bite while you're waiting?
Good,
Not
thank
at
you.
the moment. Thank
Okay,
you,
how
though.
about after the show? Girls,
Maybe
boys?
after the show.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll just restrain myself and I won't eat while I talk because that's so rude. Scooter, you have done some fabulous designs for this new wonderful fashion show. And give us the details on what inspires you. I want to know.
Okay. Well, it's kind of lengthy, so you have to tell me when to be quiet.
I'll
I
just hit
promise. Okay, that'll work.
With a green chili wonton. Okay?
Actually, there's 3 parts to my line. They're all under my name. One of them is about my dad. The other one's about my mom, and the one's about me. The
Wow.
one I'm launching for spring, or the one that we're going to be doing now, is called Broad.
Okay.
So, the reason why I've always done art ever since I was a little kid. I've done everything except clothes. So when my dad passed away, it'll be going on 3 years this year. I was able to. I had no outlet, so I was like, well, I guess I'll just do clothes. So it was something I got into, and it was still, like, I guess you could say, somewhat depressing, but it's come out to be a happy end.
It sounds like it's a cathartic grieving process for you, actually.
And it still is. Before my dad passed away, my dad was my best friend as well as my mom. And I asked him, I said, Dad, what did you think of Mom? What'd you really think of her? And they met in Florida, but she was from New York, and he was from Kentucky. And he only had 6 months to live.
Wow.
Well, he lived longer because he passed 2 years ago.
Yes.
So he said, you know what, Scoots? He said, your mom was the best looking broad I'd ever seen.
Oh.
I said, okay. And he said, well, and she was legged too. Now, my brother is 6'9".
Wow.
Yeah. So, and he is my half brother, which is to my mom. So she was a tall, legged broad. So
How cute. What a great description, too. And so that's what you named the clothing line after.
the spring line is called Broad because I was like, well, how can I expose a woman's leg? And I was like, well, you can't do it in the winter.
Right.
So you have to do it in spring and summer.
Absolutely.
So all the clothes expose, or I guess you would say
Accentuate.
insinuate, exactly, a woman's leg. So
I love that.
So
Good
that's
for
how
you.
that one came to be.
Sounds good. And we're going to be seeing a lot of these designs, I imagine, at the fashion show, which you are sponsoring, Citizens Union Bank. Kim Dodson, thank you so much for putting the money behind the effort, because all good fundraisers and nonprofits depend on banks to support them.
Yes, we do. Actually, we're very happy to be the major sponsor for this event.
Sorry about that. We're having a little microphone issue here, but I'm going to fix it. Hang on. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
We're really happy to be the sponsor for this event, and we really were just looking for a way to offer a unique entertainment venue for a lot of our customers and prospective customers, and decided to give Scooter a call. Actually, we have a mutual friend in common.
I love it.
And just so happened that everything just sort of fell into place, and in addition to Citizens Union Bank sponsoring the event, we also have Paychex First Data, of course, the Bristol, which graciously is bringing the food.
Wonderful.
And then also
Trust for Life.
Trust for Life, yeah. So we're very happy to have Trust for Life on board. All the proceeds from the event will go to the Trust for Life, which, as many people may or may not know, is to raise awareness for tissue and organ donation.
I'm an organ donor.
So,
got
as
it.
I
Got
am
my
I.
got my
Yes.
driver's license signed. That's
Yes.
awesome. Give me the details on the dates, and let me just go ahead and take a quick look at it because I know that it's coming up Friday, April the 5th, which is actually this Friday.
Friday.
It's going to start 6:30. Doors actually open. It's going to start at 7:30 with the anthology video, and then the runway event coming after that. But you can come in at 6:30, have some cocktails and appetizers. This is going to be held at the Peterson Duminal House.
That's correct.
Which is a wonderful showcase for everybody in Crescent Hill. There are lots of weddings held there, lots of events, and to have a runway show there is fantastic. And we only have space for 75, and I think it's sold out.
It is
Am I
sold out.
correct
It
in that?
actually is, yeah.
But-
Before it was even launched, before I could put it out there. Emily,
That's amazing.
Yes.
Emily did such a good job promoting it that it sold out within like days. Didn't it?
Emily's awesome anyway. so-
I know she is. She's a pretty awesome gal. And so you can't RSVP at this point, but you've held back a few spare tickets, haven't you?
Yes, we did.
So there's 6 pair of tickets, which they would like to donate to anyone who would like to email. Is that okay for us to do that? Okay.
Yeah,
Kathy says
thank
yes.
you.
So if you will email me at tara@crescenthillradio.com, the first 6 emailers will get a pair of tickets.
Yes.
Tim, you can email me. That's okay if you'd like to go. He's got his little smartphone out there.
Exposed legs? Come on.
Hey, there you go.
We're talking to the little Lothario of Crescent Hill right here. He appreciates exposed women's legs. So if you want to, go ahead and email tara@crescenthillradio.com. The first people to email, 6 people, each will get a pair of tickets, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
And it's a great opportunity to support this fantastic Scooter Ray Designs show of 2013. It's a derby fashion show, but I think you can carry these designs over into other parts of your
every
life, right?
day. Yeah.
So what do you design for? Do you design for a typical model who's 5'11" and weighs 104 pounds, or do you design for every woman, or what kind of clothing are we looking at here?
Well, another part of the story is that when I was raised, I was never taught to my parents never told me I couldn't do what I wanted to do.
That's
they were always
excellent.
very supportive. So
Yes.
that's why I've been in the arts ever since I was a kid, and that's a part of the anthology video.
Excuse
But-
me, I had
You're
to
okay.
sneeze. You keep talking.
Bless you. But one of the things is that they had always recognized that people are different. They've always told me that. My mom was a realtor, and my dad was a used car salesman. So I had the gift of gab no matter what.
That's excellent.
So I got to know a lot of people. Whenever they were like, "Don't talk to strangers in school," I was like,
no.
"Well, I was taught the opposite." So
Exactly.
to answer your question, I only make one of a kind. I'll never duplicate anything that I do because we're not duplicated. Even if you're a twin, there's something different. They may have a mole or a freckle, or we're all individuals. So with each piece, I think that people should feel just as special as what they wear.
I love that. That's fantastic. And, I think Tanya Ablin, who is here to talk to us today about the social side, would agree with me when I say
she's
this.
cute.
She is cute, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's also married, I'm sorry to tell you. But it doesn't stop you from looking.
Right.
Tanya will tell you that there is another young designer who she brought to me 2 years ago on a television show I was hosting, and his name is Gunnar Deathridge. And I feel like you're following right along in those great footsteps of Project Runway or whatever is going to be open for you. Have you thought about going
There
to
is
a national level?
There's a weird story about that. And,
Okay.
and there's one thing that I respect the most about Gunnar is that he never hides that. We both actually tried out for the same year, and we both got it.
Isn't that
I
amazing?
was the Kentucky guy, but my mama got sick. She's had cancer, and when she was in remission, she got it back. And it's
Wow.
very rare that she has melanoma, so it's all over.
Okay.
And
You couldn't go.
it's not that I couldn't, I chose not to. So I
Good for
feel
you.
like no matter what, I'm still going to have a drive for what I do.
Yes.
But it's not going to stop me from doing what I want to do, but I don't want to be out in television, talking about how I'm designing and then know that I lost my mom. Already
I
on
love
top of losing
you.
my
You are
dad,
such
so-
a sweet
Oh,
boy.
thanks.
Good Lord. I love that. That's so fantastic. Well, good for you and continued success. Check out this fabulous page. There's a Facebook page, obviously. And there's a lot of information online. And you can see that Citizens Union Bank, First Data Corporation, Paychex, the Bristol, and Trust for Life, all sponsoring Scooter Ray Designs 2013, the fantastic Derby Fashion Show this Friday. And if you just want to come and stand around outside, yeah. I mean,
I let them in. I wouldn't
He'll
run them
let
off.
you in.
It's okay.
No, if you want to come around and stand outside and just look at all the cool, fabulous people who are going to be coming in, because only 75 of the coolest are going to be there. But come and see it for yourself, and thank you guys for taking time to come
thank
in.
you.
Really
Seriously, I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
it.
Great to
Thank
meet
y'all.
you, Scooter.
Nice
I
to
know
meet
Scooter
you.
Ray is going to be a big name in the design field in just a very short time. And Kim Dodson, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And
Well, thank
Emily,
you.
thanks for the delicious treats. Love
y'all.
those, baby. Good to see you guys. And we'll be back in just a few moments. First, we want to thank Tammy and Tabby Lewis Conti for their sponsorship this week of Take It From Tara via promoting our wonderful project that we all hold close to our hearts, An Act of Dog.
Mark Baroni is on a mission. The artist is well on his way to painting the portraits of 5,500 dogs who have been euthanized in shelters across America, as a way to symbolize the number of dogs who lose their lives in shelters every single day. Mark and his partner Marina Durbin have dedicated their lives to creating An Act of Dog here at the Melwood Arts Center, and you are challenged to become part of the effort to make it a permanent installation as a memorial museum right here in Louisville. Find out how you can make a difference in the lives of shelter animals at anactofdog.org. Sponsored by Tammy and Tabby Lewis Conti.
Fantastic project. And we really appreciate Tammy and Tabby Lewis Conti. And we also appreciate our musical guests, who happen to be Tim Kelty and Lori Jessup. Would you give us about 3 minutes of your wonderful entertainment while we switch guests?
Would love to.
Thank you so much. What are you going to play for us?
Paper Moon.
All right, take it away.
Say it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Yes, it's only a canvas sky hanging over a muslin tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
Say it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Yes, it's only a canvas sky hanging over a muslin tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
What?
If you believed in me.
Say it again.
Now if you believed in me.
Woohoo! Tim Kelty and Lori Jessup just gave me enough time to down another green chili wonton from Bristol. Thank you very much. Tanya!
Tara, every time I'm here, I just want to sit and listen to more entertainment. You have the best musical guests on.
You're right, I do. I'm so blessed and so lucky to have friends who also happen to be professional or semi-professional or want to be professional musicians. Now, these guys qualify in the professional category, right?
Thanks.
Well, yeah.
And they're very good at what they do. And I think that you would also fall into the professional category.
Professional at what? I'd love to know.
Everything.
Professional party girl. Sometimes I feel like.
You are an absolute joy. And, you know, Tanya is involved with everything that is anything in this town. And of course, the fact that you work with In Focus magazine is huge, but you also just happen to be very connected to a lot of people and you know all the fun things to do and the fun places to go.
Well, I'm lucky because of my job with In Focus.
Yes.
And we, in our attempt to try to be at all of the events in the city and cover them to educate the community, luckily I get to be there sometimes.
Yes, you do. And the pictures of you on Facebook are fabulous, by the way. Just wanted you to know that.
Nobody wants to see that many pictures of me, not
Yes.
even my mom and dad.
I'd love to see those pictures. And you've got a huge event coming up, which is going to be a big, huge Derby event.
The Derby events are always the biggest.
Yes, they are.
And of all of the events I attend year round, the Julep Ball is by far the most extravagant event. And this year it's going to be even bigger than ever. They've moved the venue to the Yum Center.
Wow.
So that's a
pretty
huge
big.
change. Yeah. I mean, you think of how massive that place is. But the reason for the move is because this year they're hosting more of a concert type event.
really?
And the entertainment is the B-52s.
Can you believe that?
That's huge.
That is
and
huge.
It's a great decision because that appeals to so many demographics, and I'm excited about it. It's going to be a really huge party and a concert, and they're making attempts to make it accessible to very many people because, you know, that venue fits a lot of people.
Yes.
So, you know, there's the dinner aspect of the night, which starts Oaks night. So that's
Okay.
Friday night.
Yep.
You know, Derby Eve, which is the big party night of the season.
When everyone's exhausted and just needing to get through one more big day.
One more day. Just keep
And
pushing.
then throw those house guests out on Sunday.
Right. And yeah, so the dinner starts at 6:30. There's a cocktail hour and dinner, and those tickets are actually already sold out.
Are they?
Which is great for the James Graham Brown Cancer Center,
Yes, it is.
which the event benefits. But, you know, we still want to get some bodies in there, and we still want people to be able to enjoy the B-52.
So how are you going to do that?
Actually have a tip for your listeners.
Okay.
And we can share this out to your Facebook followers
Yes.
or on your website
Good.
any way we can.
Good.
And that is, tickets can be purchased for a dance-only option.
Awesome.
Now, normally those tickets are $150 each, and that gets you in at 9 o'clock to an open bar, appetizers, the concert. However, I have a tip. If you call 502...
He's getting his phone out.
Everybody get your pen and
Tim,
paper.
get your phones out, everybody.
We'll share the link. 502-852-6589. This is a direct line to the Cancer Center. And you say the code word dance.
Dance.
Then they're going to give you 2 tickets for $250.
Wow.
So that's a $50 savings on 2 tickets. So I think that's the best way to go.
That's amazing.
And I want as many people as possible to be able to take advantage of that. So
Yes.
again, that number is 502-852-6589. That's $250 for 2 dance tickets to see B-52s. And also they have a great entertainer opening for them, which is Angie Johnson. She was a star on NBC's The Voice.
Oh, wow.
But really where she became popular was she became a YouTube sensation. She was serving in the Air
Bon
Force.
Qui? Is that Bon Qui? Angela Johnson? Different Angie Johnson. Too
That I
bad.
know you're talking about.
True.
And that would be huge. I would pay $250 to see that.
I would too. Okay, Angie Johnson from The Voice.
That's great.
Yeah.
Angie Johnson from The Voice. She was in the Air Force and she became a YouTube sensation just sort of off the cuff singing Adele's Rolling in the Deep.
Oh, wow.
And it just kept getting shared and shared and shared. She has an incredible voice. She came last year and was so incredible that the crowd kept chanting for more. And
Isn't
at the
that
time,
amazing?
she didn't have a band. She just had a backing track, so she didn't have any more
She
music
didn't
to
have
sing.
any more.
This year she's bringing a band and she's opening for B-52s and she is just incredible.
I can't wait. That is so exciting.
Yeah,
Well, I
it
will
is.
have to be one of those people standing outside of the Yum Center listening through my earphone.
Tara, I'm pretty sure we can get you in. You know people.
I tell you what, though, that's going to be a fun Derby night. So if you want to take advantage of a great opportunity to be a part of this fun, even though all of the big tickets are sold out, you can still support the James Graham Brown Cancer Foundation, which is the best thing of all.
Well, and the dance ticket is really you're getting there for the fun.
And you're
That's
going
when the fun
for the
starts.
fun, and I love that. So just be a part of it, and let everybody know that you know to support the James Graham Brown Cancer Foundation at all times of the year because they are truly one of the leading cancer centers in the United States.
They really are. And we have so many people who, have access to traveling to get their treatment who choose to stay here because the research is so strong here. The care is
Yes.
unmatched. And we have cancer centers, some of the best all over the world, that say, why would you go anywhere else? Stay where you are and get treatment.
There's
at
no
James Graham
place like
Brown.
home, literally. When you're sick and you want to be surrounded by your family, stay at home and take advantage of it. I know a lot of people who've been literally given life sentences who have gone to James Graham Brown and been rescued from that life sentence.
They're doing some exciting things there.
Yeah.
We're lucky to have Tiki Barber as the guest MC this year.
I saw the picture on Facebook of you with him.
Handsome man.
Gosh, yes, he is. And you're married, by the way. I just wanted to remind you of that since I told Scooter that, because he said, she's pretty.
I'm married, but I'm not dead. So,
sorry, Chris.
and of course, we have a mutual friend who will be there with an entourage. Will
Mr. Heiser. Yes, Mr. Heiser will be there with his entire entourage of Big Brother castmates, right?
And there are people who are freaks of fans of that show
Oh, yeah.
who are really excited to see that whole crew come into town for the Derby.
Well,
so.
we have both been out with Will when he's been attacked by some crazed woman.
I forget.
Or man, as the case may be, who loves Big Brother. Well, what am I saying? I've been out with you and Will when people have both crazily attacked you guys or thought that you were my children, which I was very proud to understand. My beautiful children, I call them. But these two are really talented guys. And God, Will's bringing in Boogie,
Janelle,
Frank,
Janelle, and
Ashley.
Ashley is the other one. You're
Awesome.
right.
That'll
Who
be
I'm
a great
excited to meet in
fivesome.
person just to see if she's putting on or if she really is kind of that dingy. Can I say that?
Yeah, I think she's putting on. I think it's a very smart gal behind those blue eyes, and I think that she's turned that into quite a shtick, and it's been very successful for her.
And Tara, I know we talked about this last month, but I also have a link I want to share with you for Runway for the Roses, which
Please.
is this Thursday. It's doubling as our launch party for April in Focus. And I have a link I want to share with your viewers that I was able to obtain to
Good.
get half-price tickets. so
Half
you
price
can
tickets
get in the door for $25.
This is for Gunnar Deathridge's show.
This is for Gunner's show.
Okay, what's the link?
Well, it's a really contrived link. It's one of those Eventbrite ones. So it's so long. I would just like
Share
to
it
share it
with
with
me?
you so
Do
you
that.
can share. Yeah, because once I start spouting off backslashes and dashes,
Yeah.
I don't think
That'll
it would
really
get
boring.
communicated properly.
So you just share it with me, and we'll put it up on our various and sundry sites. We've got our Facebook pages. We've got our Crescent Hill webpage. And that's a great idea because we were just I was comparing this young man, Scooter Ray, to the 2 year ago Gunnar Deathridge. And look where Gunnar's gone in such a short time.
That story that he shared was
So
really
precious.
interesting, and I didn't realize that he's the sweetest
He's adorable.
and very talented.
Yes, he is. So Gunnar is going to be designing for Runway for the Roses.
Well, he's styling and producing.
Styling, right.
So all of the clothes come from Dillard's. And he, as we discussed last time, has designed this to be Derby through the decades.
I love that.
And I'm really excited to see what he's done. He's gone, as soon as this whole thing was conceived of, he just took it and ran with it and has created this multimedia experience.
Wonderful.
That is going to be just all consuming. I wrote a monologue for the intro that I'm so excited to get to hear read. They hired some actors to read it, and it's kind of an autobiographical story from me about my Derby experience through the years and growing up watching it with my dad. And so I'm really excited
I
that'll
love that.
kick
And
off the show.
Tell us about this event, location, time, and so forth. Because is it sold out already?
VIP is sold out,
Okay.
but the general admission tickets are not. And what that gets you are 2 drink tickets. It's the Kentucky Center for African American Heritage.
Wonderful
And
place.
cocktail hour starts at 6. The show starts at 7. And like I said, this link that I'm sharing with you can get you in the door for $25, which is an absolute steal. I'm so excited to be able to get that for you. And it's kind of a super secret private link.
Yes, and we won't tell anybody else.
No.
We won't tell any of those people on Great Day Live, or we won't tell any of those other television or radio hosts who have you on.
Take it from Tara only.
That's what a real friend does, right? Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate that. So let me ask you this. What does the rest of your week hold?
This week, I'm actually trying to lay low. I just got back from the game from
Yes,
Indianapolis.
you did.
And I would be lying.
I saw pictures of you on Facebook at the game.
Of course you did.
Fascinating.
It didn't happen if it didn't end up on Facebook.
I know,
right?
exactly.
So I would be lying if I just said I wasn't still a little shaken up by the events of that game.
Yes.
And how emotional it ended up being. Not
Did you
just
see the picture
win.
with Rick and Richard Pitino with Kevin in the hospital
I
today?
just break out spontaneously into tears every
Oh.
time I see a picture like that, or the team rallying around him
Oh,
when he said,
man.
"Just go win this game, I'll be fine." I mean, I can hardly get it out now.
It was unreal.
I actually read a great quote I wanted to share with you
Yes.
from Bob Valvano, which reminded me of you because you're always full of quotes. I have to write mine down. You always remember everything.
That's the first time anybody's ever said I've been full of quotes. That was a nice compliment.
So he said, every once in a while, the game transcends the sport, and the sport transcends itself, sending life lessons and creating human drama in the highest order.
Oh, and didn't it ever?
It did.
That's a beautiful quote.
More than just a game. So
Thank
I'm
you,
really
Bob.
proud. So gearing up for Atlanta this weekend, and I'm emceeing Runway for the Roses Thursday. So I'm just trying to lay a little low this week. So
I love that. Well, I know it's going to be a fantastic show with you in charge at the helm, at the MC's mic. Great show. Everybody check it out on Facebook. And, of course, follow Tanya Ramsey Ablin.
Tanya Ramsey Ablin.
On Facebook and on Twitter and every place else you can imagine, because she is always on top of all of the coolest things that are happening around town. Thanks for sharing the social side with us
Thank
today.
you. We'll get those links out to your listeners,
Yes.
and so everybody can get discounts on the Julep and on Runway for the Roses.
And we will plan on seeing you after Derby is over and you have recovered a little bit. So we'll plan on
I may
that.
come in PJs,
Yes,
full
can.
body footies,
That's okay.
the whole thing.
And lots of fuzzy boas, too. So
Yes.
Tanya Ablin, thank you so much for the social side of Louisville. Tim and Lori, you got about a minute's worth of song for us while we get Peter Holloway in here? Go for it, man.
You stay out all night till the break of day. Snap me up with everything I say. Little by little, oh, I'm losing you, I can see. And bit by bit, darling, your love is slipping away from me. Oh, what you doing, baby? Don't you know it ain't right? I wonder what you're doing, that it takes all night. Little by little, oh, I'm losing you, I can see. Yeah, and bit by bit, your love is slipping away from me. Now I say, whoa, I say, whoa, I say, whoa.
That was beautiful. We're having a slight technical difficulty with the guest mic here, so we're just going to have you play for 30 more seconds. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, it's fixed. Never mind. Hi. Peter happens to be an expert musical theater performer, so he could just doo-wop along with you while we fix his
Sure.
mic. So Peter, Tim, Lori,
Tim
Peter
and Lori.
Holloway. Peter
Hi,
Holloway is
hi,
with
hi, diddle, diddle.
Oh, thank you for reminding me of that. Stage One Family Theater, which I absolutely love because it broadens the definition of Stage One, and it deserves it because I have long enjoyed Stage One. It's not just for kids.
It's not just for kids, but it has been around for kids for a really long time. This is our 68th season.
Incredible.
And here's a little fun fact to know and tell that most
Yes.
people don't. The biggest single user of the Kentucky Center is Stage One.
Isn't that amazing?
We have more people come, and most of them are little people.
Yes,
That come,
absolutely.
and we like to think of ourselves sort of as a gateway to the arts.
Yes.
Because we introduce so many kids who've never been in it. It's so fun to stand in the lobby and watch all these kids come in who have never been to the center before, and their eyes are like saucers.
Yes.
And they have a great time.
Oh, fantastic. And Peter and I have fortunately been acquainted for many years. We actually performed together at Derby Dinner Playhouse.
Yes.
And in our younger days, had a great opportunity to do stage shows and sing and dance. And I tell you what, there's nothing to replace theater and performance in a child's life, because I remember seeing the kids coming into Derby Dinner Playhouse and being flabbergasted at what was unfolding before them.
Well, you know, one of the things I like to tell people that I think is important about live theater is it teaches empathy.
Yes.
Okay. Empathy is something that's really in short supply in this world. But if you bring kids in and you put them in a group of their peers and you present a situation to them, they think about things other than themselves, about, gosh, what would I do if I was in that situation?
Isn't that
Or is that
interesting?
person making good choices or bad choices? But they feel something for somebody other than themselves. Such an important thing that we don't have enough of in this world. So
You're right.
And you don't get it from a handheld device.
That's true. And when
You
you
watch
spend
it at
all your
home.
time on those handheld devices, you can't speak. You can't communicate. You have a very hard time having conversations. So, getting kids out to see people on stage doing live performance is great. Talk to us about the Stage One season that's going on.
Well, okay, we have one show left, and it is a great classic show, Charlotte's Web.
Oh, I love it.
And it's going to open here in 2 weeks, actually, 2 weeks from tomorrow. And it will run for about a month. And we will probably have close to 20,000 area kids will get to come see it. But there are public performances. And as much as I love our student matinees, I think it's also completely wonderful for families to come see the show.
Yes,
so
it is.
May 11th, May 18th, there are shows at 11 and 2, and you can come to our website, stage1.org, to
Great.
get more information.
Yes.
Or you can get those tickets at the Kentucky Center.
And you guys are on
as well.
Facebook too, right?
We are.
Good. Very
We
good.
are. That new technology stuff, I'm way too old to deal with that
Have
Facebook
you
and stuff.
established a season for next year already, or are you already thinking about that?
No, we totally have the season for next year, and it's another one that we were excited about too. Of course, as always, we anchor it in the middle with the best Christmas pageant ever.
Oh, I love it.
Which is so much fun. We use a lot of area kids within the show. There are 2 casts of 16 kids that share in the production, so we'll have 32 kids take part
Is
in the
Connor
show.
too old to be in the shows anymore?
He is.
How old is Connor? I'm not
Connor
sure.
is
I
my
wanna know.
son. She wants to know that. Oh, gosh, we're going to digress onto Connor for a minute. Connor went to Boston to study at Boston Ballet
Wow.
3 years ago after many folks among your listeners may have seen him because he was in the Nutcracker.
Always in the Nutcracker. I
For
love
several
that.
years. Like, have you not outgrown this yet? They keep bringing you back to be Fritz because he didn't grow enough. But he finally did, and he is a trainee with Boston Ballet.
Isn't that incredible? Good
which
for him.
is pretty mind-boggling.
Yes, it is.
Also, coming up next year, I was telling about that season. We have a brand new show that'll be in January. It is a new telling of Robin Hood,
Oh, wow.
which I'm excited about that. And local theater folk have written that for us. Greg and Abigail Maupin, who run Le Petomane
Yes.
Theater Company, their own company, and have performed with us a number of times. They've written a new script about Robin Hood, and it's fantastic. And then the final show of next season is based off a series of popular books, The Diary of a Worm, Diary of a Spider, and Diary of a Fly. They've combined them all into Diary of a Worm, Spider, and Fly.
Oh, cute.
And you
I
get a
love
whole
that.
lot of science and a whole lot of laughs all in the same show.
That sounds great.
So-
Can we get a season subscription to Stage One?
You can at stage1.org.
Oh, there you
Check
go.
it all out. It's great. I'm going to tell you really quick, too, about a wonderful program we have because we have a lot of generous folks that make it possible for us. We saw declining numbers of kids coming to our shows in recent years, and we hated for them to miss this
Yes.
opportunity to be introduced to live theater. So we came up with something called Play It Forward. And we basically reworked our business model and took most of the money that was donated to us, and instead of using it for any administrative costs, we did it all as ticket underwriting so that through this program, every kid in this metro area has a chance to come see a Stage One show at zero ticket costs,
Phenomenal.
grades K through 6. And since we put that in the fall of 2010, we've had almost 150,000 kids come see shows at zero ticket cost.
Incredible.
Pretty cool.
I think that's fantastic.
It is
Good for
pretty
you.
cool. Yeah, it's really fun.
Have you had to really notice the economy in the last few years? Has the
Well,
economy
that's really what
impacted
brought
you?
that
Yeah,
about.
That's what I was thinking.
Because not only were we feeling it as a nonprofit
Yes.
organization,
Yes.
Nothing makes you feel it as a nonprofit as much as when the people who are trying to make a profit
Yes.
are nonprofit.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And there's no money to be donated to those of us who are trying to live in a different world.
Sure.
So, well, we were more concerned about the fact that we didn't have those kids able to come. The schools were feeling the crunch, and field trips were dropping off, and we thought,
Exactly.
gosh, we can't have these kids miss out.
No.
So that's where that program came from.
Good for you. So play it forward. And is that something that people who are interested in being a sponsor for can find also at
we
stage1.org?
would love to have them do
Yeah.
that, and and every little bit helps.
Yes,
you know?
it does.
So at stage1.org, there is a Give Now button, and
Good.
people could contribute something to that as well.
So, Peter, do all of the stage performances of Stage One Family Theater take place in the KCA, or do you guys do outreach? I mean, tell me about those.
Well, we
kind
do
of
a little
things.
bit. We have an interesting program each year. We've been taking a couple of our shows over to the Ogle Center
Oh,
at
right.
IUS, and
Yes.
so a lot of the Indiana kids have been experiencing Stage One shows in Indiana. And then, of course, we have a huge education program. We do a lot of stuff out in schools, both
Yes.
during the day and after school programming. And we have summer camps as well. And we have
Fun.
a full slate of summer camps coming up. And again,
Stage1.org.
they can learn all about those. We have a cool one this year we've never had before. We're doing a technical theater camp
Oh, that's great.
for kids 12 to 18 who want to learn more about lights, costumes, stage management,
Set
design,
decoration,
all those kind of
everything.
things. Yes,
Yeah.
and we will put them to work in our shop.
Because not everybody is born to be an actor, but there are tremendous opportunities available backstage. And there are a lot of
Absolutely.
people who really want to be backstage and don't want to be in the spotlight.
And nothing happens in the spotlight without those people
That's
backstage.
exactly
So
right.
It's dark. It's
What
quiet.
what a great learning place. That's fantastic. And so we can find out more about all of these by going to stage1.org. Give us a telephone number to call for Stage One if we're interested in tickets or sponsorship.
Or 589-4060.
Okay.
We'll get you to the main part of our line.
Very
So-
good. Now, when do the summer camps actually kick off? Because this is April 1st.
Yeah, you know what? You're going to get me on the date on that. I don't remember. It's in early June.
Okay.
That we start right after school gets out.
Well, so you've got plans for the kids for the summer. If you don't have plans for the kids, go ahead to stage1.org and find some plans, because what a great way to teach them.
Absolutely. Come see Charlotte's Web, too. It's going to be a great show.
We would love to see Charlotte's Web. Well, Peter, thank you for taking the time to be with us today. We appreciate you very much. We'll keep Stage One at the top of our
Tara.
minds.
I
Great to
appreciate
see
it.
you again.
Keep singing. You guys sound great.
Go ahead, Tim and Lori. Give us a wonderful, wonderful minute or two of music while we drag the next guest in.
How about some Minnie the Mouse?
Oh, I like Minnie the Mouse. Good.
There's too many things I haven't done yet. There's too many sunsets I haven't seen. You can't waste the day wishing it slowed down. You would have thought by now I'd learned something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, do-do-do-do-do-do. I made up my mind when I was a young girl. I've been given this one world. I won't worry it away. No. But now and again I lose sight of the good life. I get stuck in a low light. Then love comes in. How far do I have to go to get to you? Many the miles, many the miles. Oh, 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 how far do I have to go to get to you? Many the miles, ooh, send me the miles, and I'll be happy to.
Ooh, I love it. Tim Kelty and Lori Jessup, and they are fantastic musical guests. Thank you so much. We'll be hearing more from you again in a moment. Before we get to our next guest, we want to once again thank Tammy and Tabby Lewis-Conti for their outstanding support of this next project. It's called An Act of Dog. An Act of Dog. It's kind of a play on an act of God, but it's an act of dog. And it's 5,500 portraits being painted by one man, Mark Baroni, and his partner Marina Dervin is the spokesperson for the wonderful Act of Dog. She's been on the show a couple of times, and the idea is to get the message across that every day in this country, 5,500 shelter dogs, conservatively, are killed because we don't know how to manage our shelter system. And in addition to that, 11,000 cats lose their lives every day in our shelters. So the Act of Dog is a proponent of the no-kill solution, which will enable us to keep alive so many more animals that are healthy and adoptable and ready to go to their forever homes. And sponsorship of An Act of Dog is so easy. You go to anactofdog.org. You can become a sponsor or benefactor. And Tammy and Tabby Lewis-Conti decided that their contribution to Crescent Hill Radio would be to support An Act of Dog by allowing us to present to you this beautiful promotional piece talking about it.
Mark Baroni is on a mission. The artist is well on his way to painting the portraits of 5,500 dogs who have been euthanized in shelters across America, as a way to symbolize the number of dogs who lose their lives in shelters every single day. Mark and his partner Marina Dervin have dedicated their lives to creating An Act of Dog here at the Melwood Arts Center, and you are challenged to become part of the effort to make it a permanent installation as a memorial museum right here in Louisville. Find out how you can make a difference in the lives of shelter animals at anactofdog.org. Sponsored by Tammy and Tabby Lewis-Conti.
Well, I'll tell you what, here's a picture. I just wanted to share this with you guys. This is a picture of Mark painting Oreo, who is one of the featured dogs, an 8x8 foot painting. Wow. And then there are, 8 or 10 of those, but then there are a ton of the small 1 foot by 1 foot portraits. 5,500. And he's not even a dog painter. He just decided he was going to do this because he found out, and Marina found out, what was happening in our shelters, and they were so horrified. And you actually heard them speak
Yes.
at Compassionate Louisville, so you remember that very well.
I do.
And they made almost as much of an impression on you as you made on them, so good. Educational Justice Sarah Schaefer is here to talk to us a little bit about a very important subject, which is it's time for ACTs.
Oh, yes.
And people who have kids college bound or juniors, I guess, really are starting to freak out.
Yes.
Because those scores mean everything. If you don't get a good ACT score, you're stuck.
It's true.
I mean, if you want to go to college, you can have great grades, but you've got to test well. What does Educational Justice do to help that situation?
So what we have decided to do is take the very same program that we do at the tutoring agency, at Louisville Tutoring Agency.
Which is a costly and for-profit organization.
Exactly. It is not. It's a pretty penny, as I like to say, for the services that we provide at the tutoring agency. But we're going to take those very same strategies that were developed by our founder and leader and use them as a way to raise funds for educational justice.
Fantastic.
To continue the free programs that we do in JCPS schools and in and around Louisville.
I love that. So give me the first hint, because those were my terrifying days. I remember when I sat for the LSAT before I went to law school.
I did that as well.
Terrified. And that was when it was the old LSAT. So you had to score, X number of points to be able to get anywhere. And I scored well enough to get into Georgetown University School of Law,
awesome.
and then I dropped out. So what does that say about me? But it was a hard test.
Yes.
And they don't make it any simpler. So what are you going to do? What strategies will you employ to help kids learn how to take the SAT or the ACT properly?
That's such a good question. We do employ definitely different things that are important as far as the content is concerned. But what we really do that is the really kind of cutting edge stuff is to really look at the structure of the test. So how long are you allotted for each section? How many questions are there?
There's the key.
It's really very important, and it's something that is an easy oversight. So kids will just go right in, start taking the test. You want to just rush right through it, be over with it. But if you kind of take a moment, take a step back, okay, how many questions are there? Do they increase in difficulty from the first questions to the last questions, which in some cases they do,
I'm sure.
the math section. And so there are different things like that respective to each section that are really important to kind of know and gauge before you even do any problem.
Wow, that is absolutely... Do you guys remember taking those tests? Did
Yeah,
they terrify you as much as me?
Yes.
It was awful.
I do. There's so much stress put on you on that one day.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yep.
and it really can affect your entire career and your life if you let it.
I took the ACT over at Wagner High School, and I remember sitting in there, and I was like, my guts were churning. I was like, oh my God, I've got to go to the bathroom, but I don't have time.
That's a terrible
And I
feeling.
made it out.
Oh, man. I tell you what. So the kids who are eligible
Yes.
for this ACT preparation,
Yes.
talk to me about that.
So it would really be the tickets are free for the event with a minimum donation to Educational Justice.
Good.
And as you kind of mentioned, obviously juniors and seniors in high school, but in all honesty, I mean, we really advocate starting early.
Middle school?
I mean, we do have middle school students at the tutoring agency,
Wow.
and we work with some middle school students through Educational Justice doing kind of pre-test prep stuff.
Isn't that amazing?
So in our opinion, obviously we're a bit biased because we do all this test prep, but you kind of can't start too early because we see a lot of students coming to us as seniors, which is fine. Obviously, we can help them, but there is that last minute element.
Yes.
So if you're a freshman, a sophomore, and you come to us early, you can take the test a few different times and really kind of hone your skills and get that score that, as you said, is a lot of importance is put upon.
I don't really think there are too many people who take it once and ace it and walk away.
Sure.
I've heard more kids saying, I've got to retake the ACT.
Yeah.
I've got to do it again.
And you should. You should.
Really?
You should
You
give yourself the
encourage them
time
to do that.
Well, yeah, and we encourage them to kind of give yourself enough time to do the prep slowly. You know, come do work with us once a week because they're already, you know, overloaded with their school subjects. So to do a last minute kind of cram session, you know, we all know that's not good. So yeah, do it slowly. Start early. So
I see these kids with backpacks.
Oh my gosh.
That look like they're in the military humping into Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And they must weigh 40 or 50 pounds.
Yeah.
They're carrying all these books home and they have after school activities and they have, you know,
Exactly.
family obligations. I'm thinking, how do kids have time to do homework anymore, let
Right.
alone prepare for a test? So
Yeah.
that's what I think is great about educational justice is you guys are carving out time
Yeah.
in the day for kids to come and learn about the very important test taking aspects. And
Yeah.
you do regular tutoring as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How do we get more information about educational justice, Sarah?
So we can just go to educationaljustice.org. You can actually reserve your spot or your student spot right there on the website. We are on Facebook. There's all the information for the event on Facebook as well, or they can call us. It's 502-713-4649 is the number to the office, so we can reserve your spot over the phone as well.
And on a regular basis,
Yeah.
tell us who you work with. What kids do you work with?
So we work with most of our programs are either high schoolers or middle schoolers.
Okay.
So we have a couple of programs at some different JCPS schools, and then we also have a program that we do at the West End School. I love going there. It's a really super cool place. So a lot of high school, middle school.
Is
students.
there a bottom line requirement for being eligible to participate in educational justice?
Yeah, so it's just really a demonstration of financial need. The easiest way for us to gauge that is if a student is on free or reduced lunch, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be, again, some kind of other demonstration of just not being able to otherwise afford private tutoring, test preparation, college app preparation, but it's the same stuff like you mentioned that we have a lot of students come to the tutoring agency, and it ain't cheap.
It's not. And tell us about the actual event, time and place where we would go to help to raise money for educational justice and find out more about ACT Prep.
So it is going to be April 8th through the 11th.
Okay.
And we have been so graciously invited by the Metro United Way to hold the event there.
Wonderful.
So it's going to be downtown at the Metro United Way from 6 to 7:30, the 8th through the 11th.
Okay. So every night, 6 to 7:30.
Yeah, we're going to do a different section of the test.
So you're asking kids to participate for the whole week.
They don't have to. They can pick. They can say, okay, I really struggle with the math, and I'm
Gotcha.
good on everything else.
Gotcha.
Or they can come for all four, and we kind of set it up in a kind of deal kind of a way where it's a minimum $50 donation per night. But if you
Yes.
want to come all four, you can get it for $150.
Wow. That's incredible. Which segment would you have to go to, guys?
I'm going math. Yeah.
Would you go math?
Across the boards.
I think I would choose math too because I was absolutely fabulous with everything linguistic, but I could not do numbers.
Yeah,
And then
that's
when I became an adult and I went back to school to get my meteorology degree, suddenly I could do calculus. Oh, how does that happen? I mean, I'd managed a budget, I'd learned how to do things, but suddenly it's like my brain evolved.
That's amazing.
Isn't
That's
that
very
funny?
interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. She says, "Yeah, I bet you did. You probably had a brain transplant."
No,
didn't
I
you?"
think it's super cool. I wish that would happen to me,
Well,
actually.
you're not old enough yet, so maybe when you get to my age, you'll figure it out. Sarah Schaefer, thank you so much for sharing
Yeah.
educational justice with us again.
Thank you, Tara.
Love to have you on the show. Anytime you've got something that you want to promote and talk about, you're welcome to come.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. And you can stay for a second because I'm going to have these fabulous musicians entertain us just a little bit more. But first, we have to talk just a little bit about our fundraiser. And for those of you who have not joined Crescent Hill Radio yet, it's only $25. Go to the webpage and click, join now. You can also get advanced tickets for this fabulous concert that we're going to have. It's the Derby kickoff April the 28th, and it will be held at Expo 5. Have you guys been to Expo 5? Super venue. What do you think of it?
I love it. Tommy Kent happens to be a buddy of mine, and he just rocks it. He's like, Tim, is it loud enough for you? Yeah, Tommy, it is, brother.
And of course, we all know that Tim is the Kevin Bacon of Louisville. And if you don't know Tim, you know somebody who knows Tim. So we want to encourage you to come, because I bet you Tim's going to be there, actually. And Lori, too. April the 28th, 4 to 10 p.m. It's a $10 admission, but if you want to join Crescent Hill Radio for $25 for the whole year, you'll get all those benefits and free admission to the concert. And some of the bands that are going to be there, and here I have to look down, Appalachian, Korean Hetty, Discount Guns, Robbie Bartlett, fabulous singer, Trappers Keepers, Memphis Beck and Friends, Bridge 19, Anton Mick, and Atlanta Fugate. They're all going to be part of 2 stages, cash bar, food. So much fun. I hope you will come.
Awesome.
I hope you will be there. And join in the fun. It's the Sunday before Derby, so it's a great way to kick off the greatest week that we have here in Kentucky, and we would love you to be a part of it. $10 admission, or join Crescent Hill Radio and get the benefits of membership for just $25 now at CrescentHillRadio.com. All right, guys, this is your featured spotlight. What are you going to play for us? You have approximately 4 minutes to fill. But you can go as long as you want.
This is a classic from the 70s.
Yeah?
First I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But I spent so many nights just thinking how you did me wrong, that I grew strong and I learned how to get along. And so you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed my stupid lock. I should have made you leave your key. If I'd have known for just 1 second you'd be back to bother me. So now go, walk out the door. Just turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? You think I'd crumble? You think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I. I will survive. As long as I know how to love, I'll know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. I'll survive. I will survive. Hey, hey. It took all the strength I had not to fall apart. Kept trying hard to mend the pieces of my broken heart. And I spent so many nights just feeling sorry for myself. I used to cry, but now I hold my head up high, and you'll see me, somebody new. I'm not that chained up little person still in love with you. And so you felt like dropping in and just expect me to be free. Well, now I'm saving all my loving for someone who's loving me. So now go, walk out the door. Just turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? You think I'd crumble? You think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I. I will survive. As long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. I'll survive. I will survive. Hey, hey.
How about that? How about that? I will survive. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, thanks for the little ending there too.
That was sung through a green chili wine. Hey, listen to the applause. Don't you love
Get all
it?
those people in here.
Wow, they're just overwhelmed. I love it. I had to do that through a green chili wonton. While you guys sang and played, I had to sneak out there and eat one more
That's
of those
understandable.
Bristol green chili wontons that Emily Pfeiffer brought us. So we want to play under. Ready? Play under. Here we go. We want to thank not only our fabulous musical guests, Tim Kelty and Lori Jessup, who have brought a whole stream of excitement that we never would have had they not been here to our show tonight. We also want to thank Educational Justice's Sarah Schaefer, who is a fabulous resource for folks who want to get a little bit extra help from their kids who just can't quite afford to do so. Contact educationaljustice.org. Tanya Ablin, always a bright light on the social side and always has the hottest, coolest information for us. Peter Holloway, Stage 1 Family Theater. Loved that. And Emily Pfeiffer, of course, from the Bristol, supporting the great Scooter Ray designed fashion show that will be held at the Peterson Duminal House this Friday night. And you can gather around on the outside like we all do at the Barnstable Brown party every year and just look at all of the celebrities and hot people going in. Next Monday, April the 8th, the lovely and talented Rachel Monroe is our musical guest. I had the privilege of working with and getting to know Rachel in a prior incantation, a prior life, working in a local restaurant, and she is the real deal. What a talented kid, following in the footsteps of so many great singers and musicians. Rick Robinson's going to be here with a sneak preview of his great new book. It's called Alligator Alley. Everything you wanted to know about the Mighty Kindness Earth Day Hoot. So looking forward to talking to Sky about that. Andy Bleeden is going to regale us with tales and talk about whatever he wants to because he is Andy Bleeden. And two fabulous young artists, Catherine Furrow and Herschel Zond, are creating a movie right here in Louisville. And you'll get a sneak preview and hear all about it. And best of all, our friends from Slugger City Bully Buddies will be here with a special canine guest along with Caroline Kaufman of Slugger City. Until then, we want to thank Tim Kelty and Lori Jessup once again for a great show and thank all of our great guests today. We'll see you next Monday live from 5 to 6 p.m. on Take It From Tara. Take it away, Korean Hetty.
buck, give your dollar a squeezy. The girl's got the answer, you better believe me. Take it from Tara.